Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today for you guys, I have a journey part 2 of Brayansitos' journey. So if you guys haven't watched his journey part 1, then I totally suggest that you guys go and watch that before watching this part. I give a lot of helpful tips in that one, as well as I will give on this one. But if you haven't checked that out, definitely go check it out. I'll leave a link down below, if not here in the iCards. And if you're ready to hear Brayansito's journey part 2, then keep on watching. Sorry for the angle of the camera. As you guys can tell, I am in a different place to do Brian's journey part 2, because many of you have asked me on Instagram, messaged me asking how he was doing. So I just wanted to say thank you if you have reached out and asked about his update and just how he's doing just in general. I really do appreciate that. I have also been asked if I feel like your child has a delay like Brayansito, and I've always and will always tell you that I am not a professional, but you should definitely ask your doctor and seek that help. And I'm just going to be giving you guys some tips and some advice and some facts that I have done research on, and some questions that you can ask your doctor if your child does or doesn't have a speech delay or any delay just in general. So these are just facts that I found on the Google, and I kind of wanted to go through what Brayansito's day kind of looks like. So he now sleeps in his own room. We moved him to his own room, I want to say a week before Camilla was born. Has been doing a lot better the first couple of days. It was very, very rough for him, but we have a month in and he's doing a lot better sleeping in his own room, and he actually enjoys it, and he enjoys spending time in his room. He has less TV time now that he's older and that he can communicate what he wants to do. So before, it's not like he had like a lot of screen time or TV time. It's just that he would gravitate to being more calm, or whenever we needed a break, it would be going to the TV. That was like our resource. But we have done a lot better, us and him, to not watch too much TV. And he says what he wants for breakfast, for lunch, and dinner. He wants. He is an excellent, great big brother. Like, he is so good at being a big brother. We have now given him more responsibility, so he does have chores that he must do throughout the day, and he has to do these chores in order to get whatever he wants at the moment or later on the week, or if he wants a toy, he must do something. So we're kind of teaching him that everything in life, you must work for it. So he does have chores, and he loves having that responsibility of having just a responsibility just in general, because it makes him feel like a big boy, because that's really the topic right now of him being a big boy. He doesn't want to be a baby, so he's says that Chloe's a baby because she has a diaper on. So for him, not having a diaper means that he's not a baby. So for him, getting chores and just feeling like a big boy is really, really like exciting to him, if that makes sense. He is good at following directions. Sometimes with certain people, he feels like he can do as he pleases. And in certain atmospheres and places, he definitely feels that he can get away with a lot. Because the people around him allow him to. And it's really hard to parent a child who has a delay around people, because they feel like they want to make your life easier by allowing your child to do whatever, but in reality, it affects the child a lot more. He knows how to spend time on his own and in a safe place. So he does quiet time in his own room, and he knows how to entertain himself. He knows how to like self-soothe himself, which is something that has been very hard for him since he was a baby. So he was a good baby. He just always had that bit of a problem, if that makes sense. He loves to do arts and crafts, and he loves to paint. So we've just found things that he likes to do and we allow him to do it. Always, if it's either he worked for it or he's being a good boy. And we found educational ways so to do what he loves, but it's a fun way for him to learn because sometimes it can be hard for me to sit down and try to teach him something. So we try to do it fun ways that he likes and he's learning at the same time. He also loves and enjoys to be in control, and he loves to be talked to and included. So me and Brian are having a conversation, me and my husband, then he likes to be included or he likes to be involved in the conversation, if that makes sense. There's stuff that we do need to work on and improve on. And one of those is that he's been getting in the habit of yelling when he doesn't know how to do something or put away something. And this is something we're working with him, but this is more of a behavioral issue that comes along with a speech delay. So his behavioral issues is something that he is going to be going to classes to be getting the help that he needs to learn how to manage his anger and frustration when he can't communicate something clearly. But because of the COVID-19, he doesn't have that right now because everything's on kind of a shutdown. So that is something we're working on with him. And I feel like maybe if we start to do these things, he won't need that class as much as he needs it right now. And improvement wise, he needs to remember that screaming is not the way to get mommy or daddy's attention or anyone's attention. So that's something that it's very hard for him because he doesn't know how to get someone's attention, because either he's saying mommy, 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 and then that frustrates mommy. So we're trying to teach him ways to get our attention without having to get himself frustrated or us, if that makes sense. Something that we're working on is for him to use his words in everything and to not get upset when he's not understood, or just to not get upset when we don't understand what he's saying, if that makes sense. Because when he's saying something and we don't understand, he gets frustrated and he starts yelling and he starts getting upset, and then that's when that is something that we're trying to fix with him. So that's definitely something that we're working on, but yet it's an improvement that needs to be made. So something that he needs to learn how to do is how to sing in clear words and remember the words, because right now he sings clearly, but he mumbles some of the words. Like if he's singing like the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout, he would say the itsy bitsy spider, like something like that. Like he tries to say the word, but it sounds more mumble than actual clear words, if that makes sense. So yeah. And we're trying to get him to remember like 1, 2, 3 and A, B, C instead of A and then have to hint the second word or the second number. He has a hard time not being the center of attention, and that makes him lash out. So it's a struggle. Working on being patient and being calm, and working on his behavior and how to act outside of the home and inside of the home, because when some kids have a speech and language delay, they have behavioral problems since it's hard for them to communicate. And ways that I have found with all of this, not saying he is now perfect or calm child, because he will not be that till he's a little bit older, because as he gets older, he starts to understand more. We're teaching him more. So it's just kind of like a matter of time. And that is what is playing against us, time and maturity level. One is reminding him that he needs to calm down. 2 is that he needs to use his voice and his words, and he needs to use an inside voice, not yelling, and give him a schedule or a routine. Nap time or quiet time. We haven't dropped nap time. We will continue nap time till he is old and he can take care of himself. Like, he is still a child and needs my one-on-one attention and when he could be trusted alone, if that makes sense. Then he needs to have a nap and quiet time, either or. 5, when he starts getting very upset, he lashes out and he gets sent to his room. And until he is calm, then he is allowed to back out. So now we've tried everything with this child. So if he's having a hard time, what we do is he starts yelling and starts getting frustrated. We're like, we're not handling this. Go to your room. When you're calm, you can come back out and we'll try this all over again. And we had tried this before in the past, but me and Brian weren't very committed to it. And now we are. So now he goes to his room, comes down, then comes back out. And number 6 is that he has to take responsibility for his actions and decisions. So this is just going to help him to remember that everything in life has a consequence and that he must take responsibility for his actions and decisions as of starting now. So this is something that we have been doing for a while now. So he needs to like get into understanding that, oh, if I break this, I'm going to get in trouble, and because that's just how life is. It's making him feel like he is in control and giving him the responsibility. So this is something that I mentioned before, that he likes to have responsibilities because it makes him feel good about himself. So when he has a responsibility, he feels like, oh, I'm doing something, like I'm important, I'm included, I am part of the big boy club. So he sees mommy and daddy cleaning. He wants to have a responsibility like mommy and daddy. So that is something that really helps with kids that have a delay, I would say, just in general, but definitely in the speech and language delay area. Is us being very strict and only giving him 3 chances before he is punished for not following directions. So, like, the way he gets punished is either he gets the toy taken away, or you get sent to your room, or we're not going to tolerate that and you're going to sit there until you realize what you have done is not correct. Or it just depends the circumstances, but just being very strict and having a small limit of chances. So if that makes sense. I really enjoy school time, and it's very hard to get, like I said, his one-on-one attention, and it doesn't really last a long time. So we do have to break up school time into different times and different time frames, and it has to be throughout the week and throughout the day. And it just depends on what mommy and daddy have to do that week. So I just kind of like space it out and just try to make it like I said, fun. And we're always learning. He's always learning. So school is just something that isn't, I'm gonna sit down with him for 8 hours and teach him math, English, science and history and how to read and how to count and all that. No, no, no. It is spaced throughout the week, spaced throughout times. And if his suspension, if his attention is only for about 10 minutes throughout an hour, then in 10 minutes I'm going to sit down with him and go through the ABCs with him till he learns the first 20 or the first 10 or the first 5 ABCs. So little things like that. This is the correct way to do it, but it's totally working for me right now. So this is my advice that I'm giving you guys. So yeah.
Get ready. Keep your hands away from the playmat. Yes, that looks marvelous.
You did it.
If you'd like to try taking another picture.
Yeah, take it off. Here. Can you push the green button? Good job.
Picture perfect. Ooh, 1 letter left to go.
I'm just giving you my experience, what I'm doing, and what is helping and working for our family. And what I've noticed has worked and not worked, and how I realized, and what I'm doing now, and what I'm thinking of doing, if we're going to be doing further testing or not. But little things like that. I have made notes. Well, I guess you guys can't see it, but I have made notes and have done a lot of research so that I can go through this with you guys. And I'm going to also mention that I'm going to be giving some helpful facts that I have researched, and I will be leaving everything linked down below where I'm getting this information. Um, so that you guys can look and do your own research. But as always, as I've always mentioned in any of my videos and in anything, always do your own research into anything. Don't ever believe what you hear from anybody. Always do your individual research and see what is working better for you. Some things will work for you better than they did for me, or some things will work better for me that didn't work for you. So always keep that in mind. And I also wanted to mention, because I know I'm going to get a lot of comments, I cut my hair. It's super short, and it's just so easy to manage with 3 kids. Also, I have a health condition, so I had to cut my hair. But I will talk about that in another video, but I just wanted to mention the elephant in the room. So yes, I did cut my hair, and I cut it myself. Usually my mom cuts my hair, but with quarantine and everything, I just did it myself. And I think it turned out pretty cool. Will say one side is shorter than the other, but I've always had one side longer than the other. Like, that's just something that I've always had. But you can totally tell it more when it's super extra short. But I really like my haircut. It makes me feel great. So it's easy to manage, easy to do, and my hair's always done now. So it's either always straight or I do it like curly, and it's just something that it has just been really easy to manage. But that's a talk for another video. But let's go ahead and get started on Brayansito's journey part 2. And I kind of want to start off with a couple of facts and kind of reintroduce myself in case this is your first time watching me. Again, I will mention watch part 1, but just to do a small recap on part 1, I will do like, not really, but just to kind of introduce myself, reintroduce myself. So my name is Kathy, and I have 3 kids. I have a 3-year-old son named Brian, and I have a 1-year-old daughter named Chloe, and I have a 1-month baby girl named Kathy, named Camilla. And I'm a mom of 3 under 3, and my oldest son, which is Brayansito, that's 3 years old, he has a speech delay where he cannot, words just don't form and don't come out of his mouth. So he has had to go to speech therapy in order to develop that. There is a word specific, like a medical term, that says what he has. I don't always remember from the top of my head. But like I said, do your own research. I'll leave some down in the description bar down below. What causes speech delay? A speech and language delay is when a child isn't developing speech and language at an expected rate. It is a common developmental problem that affects as many as 10% of preschool children. All of this information has come from where I'm going to link down below. So this is a way that you can find out and see if your son or daughter has a speech delay. If they can't say simple words such as mama, dada, or daddy, or grandma, like little words like that, either clearly or unclearly by the age of 12 to 15 months of age. Or if they can't understand simple words such as no or stop by 18 months of age. The age of 3, tell a simple story at the ages of 4 and 5. And what causes this is the most common cause of speech delay could be hearing loss, slow development, mental retardation, and other causes may include a psychological deprivation. The child doesn't spend enough time with talking with adults, so it's very important for you to talk to your children and just keep an open dialogue so that they know that they can come talk to you and that you're always talking to them. Being a twin, autism, so it's a developmental disorder. Elective mutism, if the child doesn't want to talk. So I think in a very big part of me. I feel like Briancito had this where he was just so shy that he did not choose to talk. But now we can't get him to shut up. Cerebral palsy. So it's a movement disorder caused by brain damage. And why may your child or a kid in a bilingual home have a speech delay? The brain has to work harder to interpret and to use two languages. So it just takes a little bit longer for a child to start using either one of the languages or let alone to use both ones, since they're both learning it. So it is not unusual for a child of a bilingual home to just use one language for a while or to just have a hard time um, in that area. So that's something that the doctor has expressed to us, that Braincito may just be having this delay due to the fact that he's learning both Spanish and English. Learned or found helpful tips and advice on how to parent or help make life easier with a child who has a speech and language delay. It is not easy. It's not a walk in the park, and life is just harder, but trying to get the help you need is already setting you to help you see that the light is at the end of the tunnel. Briancito doesn't go to speech therapy anymore because of my crazy schedule, and prior to having Camilla with all this health appointments of my own health and of the pregnancy, Brian's work schedule, Chloe's appointments, Briancito's appointments, and he will go back to school, and I mean back to speech therapy once all this COVID-19 stuff clears up, or we aren't on lockdown and have to be quarantined at home. He will also be having an appointment with a hearing doctor to restart speech therapy, like I mentioned before. Anyway, this is all for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed just hearing more tips and advice and Briancito's journey just along the way. Um, and I hope that it was helpful to you in any type of way. If it was like that, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Just lets me know that you guys are enjoying these videos and would like a part 3 whenever that is. Like I said, watch part 1. It's really good before you watch this one. It has really good helpful tips in there as well. Just always remember that as a parent, you are not alone, and every kid is perfect in their own way, and we just have to help them and guide them and always teaching them the better path. So with that being said, until next time, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Like I said, give this video a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next video.